Joan of Angels. Greetings, everyone. It is wonderful to be here. So wonderful to see you, all my old friends, not so old. All of my friends, my loved ones are showing up tonight, and it warms my heart beyond belief. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you are new to the show, by the way, look, I have a banner for this now. If you are new to the show, like, subscribe, and share. And I'm your host, Joan of Angels, Dr. Joan Hangarter. I have been working with miracle makers ever since my kids and I lost everything. And it really was going to take a miracle to save our life. And if you have ever been in that place, just know that miracles are possible for everyone. Resurrection, redemption, transformation, and change. So how is everyone doing tonight? Give me a clue. Let me know how you're doing. Certainly tell me where you're from, especially if you're new to the show. And tonight is going to be a very, very interesting show. We are going to be talking about your mission and your purpose. And, you know, of all the things that I hear from people, I hear two kinds of things. It's like, well, Joan, what am I here to do? What's my purpose? And so tonight, I decided to address it. Now, the other thing I hear a lot of is, how do I trust my intuition? How do I entrust that intuitive voice I have, the guidance that I receive? And so I address that frequently as well, because learning to trust that voice within is the answer to everything. So hi, Kay. Hi, everyone. Welcome. And everyone's so excited. We have a Mississippi person. That's always nice also. And let us know where you are from around the world. And if you have any friends who you want to share this with, please share it out. Why? Because it is time for miracles on the planet. And miracles don't start from the outside in. They really come from the shift in consciousness from the inside out, where we experience a shift in our vibrational frequency that attracts that which we want, that which we ask for, that which we see, and that which is an energetic match for us. So what do we have to do? We have to kind of raise our energy. We have to shift our vibration so we can attract what we want. So I'm attracting all of you tonight. Julia's a 9. Kay, how are you tonight on a scale of 1 to 10, guys? Just let us know your vibrational frequency as I check you in on all the new things that are happening. So tonight, I made it official. I'm going to be a guest host of the psychedelic variety show that I'm going to design. And it originally started off as a cannabis show on spirituality and cannabis. Then I started to develop it into the miracles of cannabis, medical miracles, particularly with cannabis, life miracles, consciousness miracles. So now it's going to be part of a psychedelic variety show. And I'm just starting to create it now. So if any of you have any ideas or want to talk to me about it, now is the time. I'm really going to work on ways to monetize this show also. And I'm working with the San Francisco Psychedelic Society. So they're going to be the sponsors of this. And I'm very, very excited. And it will take off as soon as I get all the details in place and I start recording. So I'd love to have some of your feedback on that. So greetings, everyone. I'm going to take a deep breath and center. And so let's all center, because I thought that tonight I would really, as I said, look at what is our mission? What is my purpose? What am I here to do? And so as we dive into that, I want to do a little deep dive meditation for a moment, just to center so that you can get your answers. Remember, it's not what I'm going to tell you. It's really what you're going to resonate with. And what we're going to do tonight, because in thinking about the format, I decided that I'm just going to pick people by random and do a birth path reading. So how are you going to know what how it relates. So I decided rather than make it a little lecture, I'm going to do it as a reading and as a teaching moment with the reading. So if you would like that reading, then I guess you can put down how do I want to do it? I'm just going to look. I'm running my pendulum. And so when it's time for that, my pendulum will tell me. The reason we have to go with the pendulum is that I adore all of you so much. And some of you I know so well. And so I have to ask really that inner voice to pick when we do it. All right. So let's get ready for this. And, if you have any questions, make sure you comment. I want you to make sure you comment when what I'm saying really applies to you and how it applies to you. And because remember, I can't see you. I only see your name. So I see your comments. And I really love knowing that you're here with me. It just makes my heart sing. All right. So yes, your host is Joan of Angels, in case you're confused. And I want everyone it's not even letting me, hello. Oh, yeah, just remember you are all miracle makers, all right? And yeah, we are all miracle makers. Good. So take that deep breath in. Oh, good. Got to get used to this microphone. I can't hit it. Good. So taking our deep breath in. Good. And letting it all out. And then once again, taking that deep breath in and letting it all out. Mother, Father, God, we ask right now that we be filled, surrounded, and protected with light, with love, with clarity, with wisdom, with the ancientness and the healing wisdom of the masters. We ask for the presence, the loving presence of our guides, our angels, the ascended masters, those teachers who have come to be with us. We ask to have knowledge tonight of what we are here to do, of our purpose and our mission. We ask to remove any blocks, any obstacles, any challenges, any vibrational frequency that is less than that frequency of love, that frequency of healing, and that frequency of purpose. For with purpose, we can go on forever. When we know what we're here to do, when we wake up in the morning and we leap out of bed and we feel focused and purposeful, that gives our life meaning. It gives us a raison d'etre. My French never was very good, but you understand a reason of being. It is probably one of the most important things that you can do for yourself. I see a few new people that joined in. Canella, Patricia, Todd, welcome. Kimberly, and I see some of you already understand what I need. We are going to be talking about your birth path. And so I want everyone to know, though, that you are in the exact right place you are supposed to be. Oh, yes, you're here in the Miracle Makers Club with Joan of Angels, the exact right time, purpose, and place. As Dr. Sharon would say, you have a divine appointment. And we do. We have a divine appointment in our life, too. We have different targets set up for us, different outcomes. And when we choose and when we listen to that voice within, when we're in alignment, then it flows smoothly. We make the right choices, and all that we are asking for, all those visions can manifest. All right. So so the way I do my readings, and this is a good key for you. So when I do readings, and I call them soul awakening sessions, because they look at your birth path. First of all, they look at what you're here to do, the big picture. So what is a big picture, Susan? It is from above down and inside out. So we look at, in a sense, your destiny, what you're here to do, and how that evolves into where your life has gone and the challenges and obstacles. So we're going to start now, and I'm actually going to take my pendulum to see who we're going to actually do. And All right. So I see Kimberly, and actually, Kimberly put down her birth path. And I'll be doing more readings tonight than I thought. It's really going to be the way I teach. So, Kimberly, I am writing down your birthday. And I suppose if you're one of those people who wants a reading, it will make it easier if you do put your date of birth on there for me. I promise I won't sell it. I was born probably before any of you, 1949. And I'm okay about that now. Makes me smart. I had a lot of years to learn. 8, 9, 7, okay, 8, 9, 17, 18, 19. Well, okay, so the way we look at your birth path, so let me break it down, is you take your month, your day, and your year of birth, and you add them up. Some people add them up vertically. Too hard for me. I add it up horizontally, so my results are consistent all the time in the way I look at it. And that opens the door for me in the file cabinet, basically, of the Akashic Records. So I use it as an entry point. I have had other psychics tell me that I don't need to, and I think it's my security blanket. And that's why you don't see me on those shows where I just, blurt out your whole purpose, because I always like to know your birth path first. All right. So with that being said, and welcome to all the new people. I'm so happy to see you. Listen, you could do a whole lot of things on a Monday night or on a moon day night. And I think tonight is a new full moon. There's so many things you can do, but you chose to be here with me. So that makes me very, very happy. All right. So Kimberly, when I did your numbers, you are a 23-5. And I'm going to write that down here. And aloha to Doug. You think he's in Hawaii, but he's not. He's right here. All right. So what I do is I add up the numbers. Okay. And can we see that? Yes. So Kimberly's birthday was 11/30/1971, and it adds up to a 23-5. So we're talking about the number 5. Those of you who are listening, take your numbers and add them up yourself across. And if any of you are a 23-5, put it down here. So those comments that I make are going to apply to all of you. So Kimberly, your birth is the path of freedom. 5 is all about personal and sometimes planetary freedom. I say planetary freedom because this is a year 2021 where the planet is actually in a 5-year. And we notice what's happening. We're going through restriction versus freedom. So when I say the word freedom as the overview, then we always have to look at and that is in the positive, expansive aspect of it. Okay. Being free to express your talents, Kimberly, being free to express your gifts, being free to do that which you came here to do, to listen to the call of your inner voice. Okay. So 5s have tremendous potential, and especially because you have the 3 and the 2. So there's creativity in there. And there's also service, the ability to be of service, or the ability to give up your power. So when a 5 has freedom on their birth path, the challenge is going to be restriction. When the planet has freedom on its path, then it's going to be restriction. And what do we see happening? We're still in lockdowns, many places, not just in the United States, but around the country. And some places have said they're going to continue these restrictions for a long time. So freedom in some places, restriction in another. And then we can take it into our personal life. Where do we feel free, Kimberly, to do our life's work, to live our vision and our dream? And where do we feel restricted? So honestly, when we have a 5 on your birth path, that could be the time. I guess I'm hearing this crazy example of like getting in your car and doing this major event, and your car might break down. Okay. Feeling restricted by not being able to move freely. All right. And I'll address that again, Todd, in a second. In fact, I'll show you. Okay. I'm going to take Kimberly's birthday and break it down. It takes a miracle to be able to do this while you're talking and make it look effortless, guys. Okay. But that's what I'm doing because I want you to understand it so you can do your own number. 197. I'm doing great. Up. No, I'm not. Okay. 3 plus 1 plus 9 plus 7 plus 1. Okay, I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't put in all those pluses. There. Okay, so that's the breakdown of the birthday that we're working with. And you add it across and you break it down. It comes 1 plus 3. 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 3. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 3 is 5, plus 1 is 6, plus 9 is, let me put it up there. Okay, 1 plus 1 is 2, 3 is 5, 6 and 9 is 15, and 7 is 22, and 1 is 23. And that, my friends, is how we got to that 5. Now, there's the breakdown of the components, which would be the 2 and the 3, the numbers 2 and the 3. So you have aspects of that. So as I said, let me put this up here again. It comes up as a 23.5 right there. So the 2 is all about service and giving, but also it's about learning healthy boundaries. Learning to say yes when you may mean yes and no when you mean no. So oftentimes we give away our power as a 2 more as a victim, as a doormat sometimes. It's an issue. It's a number that's teaching you how to say no, how to be authentic, how to know what you want. And it's quite powerful. And sometimes it can derail people. The 3 is about creativity and communication. When it is turned on, you'll flow. You'll be creative. Your ideas will come. Your teachings will come. That book you're writing, the classes you're working on, kind of, it's all about taking what's up here and bringing it out. But when you're not in flow, that's when you're going to feel sort of not enthusiastic, is the best way I can say it. So I'm looking to see if anyone besides Kimberly had that 5, just out of curiosity. Kay is a 2. Julie is a 2. I am fabulous. Yes, I'm a 33. And I don't want to take away from anyone else's time to tell you that, but a 33 is a master number. So if you're an 11, a 22, a 33, or a 44, you are a master number. And the way it was taught to me years ago was either you master it or it will master you. Plus, it really shares that there's a lot of past life connections. Past life, some of what you're doing this life is really from a past life. All right, I'm going to take my pendulum. And did you like that, guys? Was that helpful? And I don't know if I see any other 5. No one else is here claiming to be a 5. So you break it down to the lowest number that you can get. So if it's a 23, then it's a 5. So Joanne, you have a 5 on your birth path, meaning that freedom is really important to you. Or conversely, the issues you would face would be that restriction and really learning what your boundaries are, learning to say yes when you mean yes, and not kind of feeling like a victim. So those are all aspects of that 23.5. And I've had a lot of them in my life. And it is really interesting to see where someone who is so hankering for freedom then goes into restriction by the outcome of their actions, which is what will happen. All right. So there's Doug. I love that. I was just thinking of numerology and you're talking about it now. So I don't know if you were thinking of it yesterday, but yesterday in the morning, I'm going, I'm meditating, and what is it that is important to bring through? And I really heard birth path, birth path, birth path. What are we here to do? How do we how do we start to access this? It's not about your job either. It's really about how you're meant to be. All right. So pendulum going, and it's going to, we're looking at your birth path number, Doug. So it would be your date, year, and month of birth. Okay. So looking up, we have, show me who we're going to do. Oh, really? Julia. All right. So we're going to do the birth path of Julia, and she's a 2. Honey, tell me the numbers that give you your 2. Well, so 2s, are you a 2-0? Were you like a 1 + 1? How did you get to your 2, Julia? Just to let me know that. Not that it's mandatory, but it always does help. So as a 2, Julia, you're here to learn boundaries. You're here to learn not to give your personal power away. Big time, big time. So 2s are here for service. They have the biggest heart in the world. They want to help. They want to help at their own expense. So a 2 has to learn how to set boundaries. 2 has to learn how to not carry everyone else, and how to, as I said, say yes when you mean yes and no when you mean no. So many women in particular, when they have 2 as that ruling number, end up in abusive relationships, in relationships with partners that seek to control them or walk all over them. So again, 2 has both sides. So half your life, so many people, especially with the 5s with freedom on their birth path, end up giving away their personal power so they don't feel free anymore. So where are you giving away your personal power, Julia, or claiming it back for yourself so that you can do what you came here to do the healing work that we know that you're on the planet to do. So I don't know if you have any questions about that, Julia, or if you're even on the line, but yes, so that's the number 2. All right. Yes. Yep. So here's Kay. After many years, I learned never to give my power away. And I want to say something that's elusive. You know, it's a lesson learned all the time. It's a lesson that we learn when we learn to recognize our own energy and someone else's energy. And some of us are more susceptible than others. Heck, I'm a Pisces. Pisces are probably some of the most adaptable signs on the planet. And it literally does take me sometimes a while to know that. So that's a good commentary. And all right. So yeah. So is this helpful? And I love it if I do a reading for you, or you're the number 2. So we were talking about the number 2. If you're a number 2, any questions or feedback is always really helpful, because then it gives us more to dialogue on. All right. Okay. So let's see. There is Erin. Sweet. Erin Stacy. Okay, Erin, and you are a 4/16/1972. Look, she broke it down for me. 9, 9, 18, 19, 25, 26. Aha. Okay. So first thing I want to tell you, Erin, is to write it down as a 30, because when we add up those numbers, they actually come to a 30. And so we break it down to a 3/0. When you have a 0 at the end of your birth path, it means it's a spiritual promise. It means that should you fulfill this, should you complete your mission, should you live in the higher potential of this, then Spirit grants you a gift, a spiritual gift. And I think that's like that alignment that some of us are seeking, that sense of certainty. So what's a 3? 3 is all about communications. communications on all parts, communications through art. Look, I told you guys I'm a double three. The house is filled with art or teachings, Threes are all about teaching, art, painting, singing, music, literature, talking, sharing stuff from your brain out into the world. And so threes are very, very much about, there's an enthusiasm most threes have, and they're very much about bringing their creativity, their unique brand of creativity out into the world. Now, when a three is feeling blocked, it's the quintessential writer's block. A three is either on or off. And sometimes there's no in between. So just know that, Erin, there may be no in between when we have that on or off. And so there's a lack of enthusiasm. So you know that you're off track as a three when you feel that lack of enthusiasm. So I want you to know that also, Erin. And the other thing about threes is that threes make great actors, actresses, public speakers, and they are fantastic about communicating to the world. They're not so good communicating on one-on-one communications. Okay, so threes may have a dialogue that goes, I really want to get out and go to the market. So you say A, and this one says, I think I'm ready to go to the concert, like something totally different. So it's actually literally like this. Threes may have a conversation. They think they're talking about going to the market. The other partner thinks they're talking about the music or something else. And communications are like this. So it's good to know that so you can feel into it. Now, what's a 33? I'm a 33. So a 33, and we would go 33/6. And a 33/6, let's see. Yeah, is a double three. Okay, so that's a master number. So much of what I'm doing this life has come from past lives where I probably was a teacher, an artist, and more, even in those lifetimes. But a three, again, would be, again, outer communication, inner communication. And this is extreme leadership. So 33s have something that they're going to do on this planet that's bigger than themselves. It's a mission, a big mission. It may be a consciousness movement. It may be a gathering or teachings of some kind. But most 33s have a bigger purpose than most people. And now look how it breaks down to that 6. And a 6 is all about responsibility, personal responsibility, community responsibilities, taking care of the world around you. Like I like to say, people, places, and things. Now that's all good and great. 6s have big shoulders. They have big wings, as I like to say. All right. And I have big wings. I can carry a lot. But what happens is that sometimes I'm trying to word it when I close my eyes, I'm kind of seeing it. So imagine a 6 with a super cape. All right. Big. Oh yeah. Like an angel cape, like I have. Okay. Angel wings. All right. So they're so big and beautiful. And 6s can take on the world that all of those people kind of hook onto that cape and they start riding along to get taken care of. Does that make sense? So 6 may feel very drained at times, overly responsible, overly cautious, and overly overwhelmed. So what's the solution for those 6s? Now, just want you to know something, guys. We have a little bit of everything in all of us, okay? So you may have that freedom thing going for you even without those freedom numbers. Or you may have, that need to communicate. But these are just tendencies. So 3s come in to express themselves. They didn't come here to be silent. 2s came in to be of service. 5s come in to have a life that they really are manifesting their visions, their dreams, that which is kind of, I'd say their heart's desires, that which they really want to do. So they want to have that ability to do what they want to do when they want to do it. But unfortunately for fives, I know I'm jumping all over the place, but unfortunately for fives, that honestly, true freedom comes from responsibility. So see all these numbers, and for five, that responsibility might like limit their freedom. And so then maybe they don't have enough money or a good place to live. So for fives, it's about learning how to expand your freedom and see what you're doing to limit it. For sixes, it's where you're carrying so many people that you can barely function. So what's a six to do? A six is to take off their cape, his or her cape, off at the end of the night and hang it up. Do I really mean you to take off a cape? Yes, I do. I want you to energetically imagine. And so, God, if you've looked at some of my older videos, I do a lot about protection and energy protection. But if you imagine taking off that cape at the end of the day, and actually, if you go with your inner sight, you could actually see how dirty, grimy, dusty, and how many people are holding on to that for dear life. And you shake it out. Okay, shake it out. You can hang it by the door, and then you can be free to be you for the rest of the night, unencumbered with everyone else's energy. So all of you who are in service to others, it's really important to shake off everyone else's energy at the end of the day. We agree as healers to assist, to support, assist, but we don't agree to take on your issues. So we want to hang up the cape, and the next day on our way out the door, or that's a symbolic, say you're going on to Zoom to do your work, not out the door anymore, then you imagine, and you have a big caseload of clients or patients or people to talk to, or you're on Zoom all day long, just imagine you're wearing a cape. Very effective. And you can make that cape look beautiful. It could be a brown cape, a gray cape, a white cape, a cape of feathers, a cape of fur, a cape of, oh, okay, this is a crazy one. I don't know who of you out there has a living cape, but I just saw like a living cape of fur beings. Maybe it's furry dogs. But I saw this living, breathing, moving cape. Whose cape is that? So sometimes I see things for everyone. All right. So now, guys, I want to take a break for a minute. Just going to take a deep breath. I really appreciate all of you. Love having your information. Okay, Kimberly. All right. Susan has 2 Dobermans. Yes. Yes. Okay. There's a curly energy. All right. So taking a moment just to sort of dive in here, I'm going to pull a card for everyone. Now, this card is all about the energy of right now, an energy of all of us combined together. I love what I'm hearing tonight. And Erin, who has communication, remember she's at 3-0, she has communication on her birth path. And I often think I speak in a foreign language. And when I think I've communicated something, okay, I get it. It completely misses the mark. Yes. And that is symbolic and of a 3 communication. So you might think of it in terms, Erin, of hitting the mark. Okay. How am I hitting the mark? How am I hitting that mark? All right. So the energy of right now for all of us. Oh, well, that's really beautiful. What do you feel? And so she's sitting there, cute little couple of orbs, tuning into not just her destiny, but what do you feel? And that's an important thing to step into so that you know. And sometimes we have to go into total silence with that. What do you feel? Well, it is true. I'd feel silence if I was not talking. Erin, thank you. You're amazing. Joan, you're hitting the mark. I'm having a lot of fun tonight doing this. I have to say that I was thinking about my astrology friends. You know, I have Shima on and I have Claudia on, and they're both amazing astrologers. But I'm also shifting the show a little bit and presenting all sorts of new things as well. So is it next week? Yes. Okay. I'm going to have Victoria on next week. I'm going to be on a great show this week. I was on Laura Topper. Look her up. Laura Topper. I was on her show this morning, and it was a great show. She has a group called the Cosmic Prayer, and we had a prayerful event tonight, this morning rather. And I actually want to share it a little bit with you before we move on. And then I'm going to be on Victoria's show on Wednesday. I will post the links for all of you. Victoria Reynolds, and she's setting our interview to live stream on my channels as well as hers. And I'm going to answer her yes. So you'll actually be able to see it most likely on Joan of Angels. So that's going to be Wednesday. Well, I'll tell you when. I think it's like 10 or 11. It's at 11 Pacific time. So I'm excited about all of these new opportunities and new shows as well, and sharing this wisdom and sharing this information with all of you. And it is such a treat. And good. Now, let's see. Removing the energetic angel wing. I'd like to know people listening to me. So yes, every night, especially if you're the person that everyone tells their problems to. And if someone is always telling their problems to you, it's so important to shake them off and let them go so that they don't get absorbed into your own body. All right. And you don't take them home at night. Okay, let's see. I'm taking my pendulum out. I'm going to go from the bottom up now as opposed to the top down. Okay, Erin and Kimberly think it was a treat. I think it's a treat. And I'm really just enjoying doing this tonight. I miss doing readings. I miss interaction with everyone. And so this is kind of a fun thing for me to do. All right. Oh, well, here's a Carmela who's an 11. Okay, she added up the numbers. Let me check it just to make sure. Welcome to the Miracle Makers Club. Guys, is this helpful to you? I mean, even if it's not your number that I've discussed, you know people like that. Or you have, like Kay, your date of birth adds up to a 2. That's good. And know that I'm talking about the 2 in between. So I mentioned that number 2 with our first person, with giving up your power. And I think with someone else also, with Julia, giving up our power, not being a doormat, knowing how to manage this life. So learning how to manage our boundaries. You know, we all have a right to be who we are. No one has that ability to take that away. If you like these readings, share me out with your friends, like, subscribe, and let me know. In particular, I love confirmation. I live for confirmation. 1221. Okay, I'm redoing your numbers, Carmela. And let's go through it together. 6 plus 2 is an 8, plus 3 is 11. And then you forgot the 19. So 11 plus 1 is 12. Plus 9 is 21, plus 7 is 28, plus 1 is 29. 29 equals 11. Okay, so you did add it right. I like to also know that 29 part, the beginning part. So I would break down Carmela's birthday if I was doing a reading for her and we were, talking about it. I would break it down like this. My Wi-Fi is really slow tonight. We have had high winds that are off the chart. So almost impossible to deal with. Possible to walk. Okay, and it's not taking that. So 2911. So Carmela, as an 11, master number. Either it masters you or you master it. Past life connections. All right. You have to also deal with service, learning your boundaries. Okay, learning your personal power, and also spiritual mastery. So very hard lessons as an 11. And when I learned about the number 11, they used to tell me it was the Christ number. And either you master it or it masters you in particular. So what is the number 1, or what is a double 1? One, think about a 1. Well, here's a 1, but here's an 11. So an 11 is a double 1. It's a portal. It's an entryway that you can step through. But it requires knowing who you are. It requires understanding that you're here as a leader, that it's about your ability to stand up, talk, lead by example, new ideas, and think of it like a knight in shining armor. So in the old days, right? In the medieval days, a knight might be given the mission of getting the red ruby from the bad dragon that's at the top of Mount Everest, and it's impossible to do it. So he's climbing the mountain, and he has an adventure in this town, rescues a damsel here, saves someone else here, gets drunk here, boom, 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 boom. But he keeps continuing upward towards that goal of getting that red ruby. And so when we have the number 1 in our birth path, any place, but you have a double 1, but if you have a 1, if you are a 1 is about personal power. It is about leadership. It is about not collapsing. So in a relationship, it's about knowing who you are, really stepping into your personal power, and not caving in, if that makes sense. I also liken ones to having Archangel Michael's sword and using it to cut through anything that stands in your way as you are going higher. And if you're an 11, then you have a double swords, just like this. Boom, 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 boom. So you can actually cut through anything on your journey to mastery. So that's a great number. And now it adds up to a 2. So, Kay, you should pay attention here, and anyone else who has an 11 or a 2. Again, 2, setting your boundaries, having the courage to know that you end here, that another person doesn't have power over you, that you are equal, that you have a voice, and that you can use it. So I think there needs to be training for 2s. Speak our truth, to recognize our truth. So there is that aspect of so wanting to please that we give up ourselves. So that is the shadow side of the 2. Does that make sense? All right, so let's see. We've covered the 1. And Carmela, does that help? Let me know how that sits with you. I told you any feedback is so appreciated. Okay. Kay just became a 5. All right. Okay, Kay. I don't know how you did that, but cute, cute, cute. All right. So let's see. We have time to do, I think we're going to do one more. And I'm looking for a 4. I know that's not the way to do it, is it? 4, 5, 9, 10, 19, 20, 9, 18, 19, 24. So Susan, you're a 2810. So that 2810, 10 is all about being that leadership, that sense of personal power. So that's pretty exciting to use. And let's see. Okay. Patricia, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 21, and 5, 26. So Patricia, it looks like you're also a 9, 9, 18, 19, 20, 21, 8. You're 30 over there. Okay. So I'm so glad that you guys are enjoying this. Makes me very, very happy. Okay. So Lisa Beth, Beth, I think I told you we have the same middle name, which is, guess what my middle name is? It's Beth, Joan Beth, 13, 22, 23. So I think it would be great. Next time I do this, I'm going to have you actually add it up for me, because that actually does work better. 1, 2, 3, and 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 17, 22, and 8 is 30. So Lisa, that explains your great creativity as a 3. And so anyone here who is a 4, I do want to give you a little feedback on the number 4. Oh yeah, there is a 4. Deb, 4. Yes. Okay. See, and she added it up. She did it perfectly. 31, 4. 4 is about solid foundations. Okay. And I think of the story of the 3 little pigs who were building the shelters to protect them from the rain in the winter, or from attack. I don't even remember the story, but the first one had the house of hay, the house of straw, and then finally they had the house of brick. And, I huff and I'll puff and I blow your house down, and you can't blow down that house of brick. So how does that relate? You're not a house, but you are a container. So the number 4 is about creating relationships, solid relationships, spiritual, emotional, financial, sexual, all types of kind of the way you structure. It's that structure in our life. So if you are building a business, it's the foundation of your business. If you're living in a home, it's the foundation. It's that sense of home, family, relationships, and how well are those working for you. So 4 is about creating solid foundations. I have had several friends whose birth path have been 4s, and they have been homeless at times in their life, which is the exact opposite. So 4s, it's not that 4 is, you're granted this house and beautiful life and container. It's that you have to work on that. And the pieces might not always fit smoothly together. So many people have moved many times, or living situations. So 4 is about creating your personal foundation for mastery and for success. Because that's what we're here to do. We're here to learn how to take our particular skills and leverage them into our toolkit. And what's our toolkit? Our toolkit is those super skills that we have, or those extra special gifts that we have. So if our purpose is on creating solid foundations, materially, spiritually, emotionally, then we can see that part of our toolkit is going to be how do we master those skills of financial freedom, of business freedom, of creating that structure, or how do we master those skills of being free this lifetime? So we all have a particular skill set that is different from each other, but can enhance what we came here to do. So I speak often of this, that, I was so shy that if anyone had told my young self that my older self would be sitting here on Zoom, who would have thought of even a computer when I was growing up, but doing a little TV show, okay, being live on all I could have imagined it, describing to my younger self was it's like being on a television show. If you had told me that, I would have flipped out because I was so shy and so scared. And yet I'm telling you that I have double communication on my birth path. I am meant to speak inwardly. I'm meant to write. I'm meant to paint. I'm really meant to share all this. But what gets in my way is that place where I could almost mask myself, or I could go in the closet instead of coming out. So again, it is the opposite. And then we have to let go of all of that which keeps us in fear, because my true path is speaking. It's being out here sharing wisdom, sharing those positive vibes, sharing this inner mastery tools to making your life a miracle. Knowing more about yourself, knowing more about the people you're with. So, for instance, odds and evens don't always get along. I don't exactly know why, but think about it. If an odd is like a round hole and an even is a square hole or peg, then you're not going to fit one into the other. It's not going to happen. So it doesn't mean you throw out your partnership, but it does mean that there could be challenges in that relationship, because the energy of the even number is very different from the energy of the odd numbers. Now, how do we know what we're here to do with our partners? Is we can add up those numbers. So I'm a 33. I could take my 33 and let's say I want to know how to get along with Todd Alpert. Okay. So I'm a 33. We add up a 3 plus a 3 plus his number is a 3 plus a 4. So that's 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And so Todd and I together would be a 1, 3/4. Now notice that Todd is an odd number, but together we make an even number. So together, a relationship for me with Todd would be about number one, stepping into personal power. In other words, I'd have to not give my power away. That would be a theme for me. And I don't know about you, but I recognize that theme. So that would be one of our themes. And 3 would be communication. So having to pay particular attention to this thing of, is he receiving what I say? Am I sending what I mean to say? Et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so how is that communication thing going? And the thrust of the relationship would be to create a solid foundation together, emotionally, physically, sexually, spiritually, as a team. So if in business or personal life, we'd be creating a foundational partnership structure. So you can take those numbers and go look at your partners and how that manifests with you. All right. So it's a lot of fun tonight, guys. Let's see. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening and your beautiful encouragement of energy. Look at that red hair. Holy moly. That's power right there. We do have a Facebook user who wanted a reading. Well, I was going to say I'm almost done, but write down your numbers and perhaps I'll get to look at it. Otherwise, I will be doing this again next week. I really feel that it's important to give you a glimpse. Is this all I do in the reading? No, of course not, because the reading's actually an hour, and this is like a very simple dive into helping you kind of get on board with your special gifts this lifetime. All right. And understand that you came down here fully equipped to do what you came here to do, even if you cannot remember. Okay. And that's important also. You don't have to know exactly what it is, and just know. So if I didn't get to you tonight, know that there's always a chance next week. Did I see high desert? Here too in the high desert. Are you in the high desert too, Kimberly? I'm in the low desert. I'm in the rural desert. You're in the really rural desert if you're up there. All right. So knowing this is really helpful because it gives us an understanding again of why we're here and what we're about to do. Okay. Now, I also want to tell you a little bit about my soul awakening session since I've mentioned it. Why not talk to you a little bit about it? A soul awakening session is a deep dive into what we've talked about. It's a chance for you to remember who you are, step into your purpose, see the big picture. I get nothing but wonderful feedback on those readings, and it's a chance for me to really pull in information I never would have thought of doing. So I encourage all of you, if you're interested, book a soul awakening session. All you have to do is go to my website. My website is right there. Up. No. There. Wow. So my website is right here. There you go. Perfect. I love it. All right. So next week, I will be back. I have a wonderful guest, Victoria Reynolds. She is an oracle herself. She talks about the world situation, your personal situation. It's going to be quite interesting to have her on the show. It's the first of the month, so join us on May 3rd at 7 o'clock. I look at all your comments. I want to hear what your thoughts are. Please let me know, and I will be back with you once again next week. So I am your host, Joan of Angels. I wanted to say I'm your angel for the night. My mission is to always have you feel more inspired, happier, more in touch with yourself, and just more loved. So yeah, for tonight, I am your angel. Join us next week, the Miracle Makers Club, 7 o'clock. Over and out.